to you by our friends of the British Council. Hey everybody, welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up at the Fantasy Sports Network, Studio 34 here in New York City. And we're talking rugby, we're talking Major League Rugby in this segment, the MLR. And with the much anticipated season finally upon us, we are just downright giddy about it. And we're also giddy about the fact that we will be in Glendale, that's right, Rugby Town, USA, thanks to Mayor Mike, Linda, and Kristen out there for the historic match between the Glendale Raptors and the Austin Elite. You should drive, swim, fly, kayak, crawl, whatever you got to do to get to Glendale, get to Infinity Park, which is basically rugby heaven on earth, and join us. That said, we will be covering the MLR on a weekly basis, and to kick us off, Steve Lewis is at the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street with a special segment. Steven, welcome.
Matt, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Steve, you're always on a rugby adventure, and we know that you like to stop at the Pig and Whistle before you go off. Where's the next destination?
I am heading north today up to New Haven to assist Yale with some of their preparation for the IV7s.
Man, when it comes to rugby, you got your hands in everything, don't you?
Just got to stay busy, keep the profile out there, you know. Might get a broadcasting job one of these days.
One can dream, baby. But to that end, we now have you giving our top 5 young players to watch in Major League Rugby, courtesy of our friends at AFIA Sports Training Group and Friends of the British Council.
Yeah, obviously everyone's looking forward to salivating about the prospect of Major League Rugby starting soon, and there's a lot of terrific players spread across these teams. So we thought we'd just come up with 5 players, maybe not so well known, who are younger players who could come through and make a splash this season.
So is this list 1 through 5 or 5 through 1? Does it matter?
Any 5, but the first we have to mention is actually a tip of the hat to probably the oldest player who will be playing the MLR, Pedri Vandenberg, my old buddy from Ulster and Oyonnax and the Bulls and the Springboks, who actually had to lace up the boots again last weekend. He's about 83 now, so I don't think we should expect too much from him. But anyway, moving on to younger players. So we're going to start with a couple of Glendale youngsters. Glendale have initiated a under-20 program under Dave Sinnott, who's been coaching that. He's also the skills coach for the pro team. And they've brought together players from different parts of the country. One of those players who takes my fancy is Mika Cruz. Mika Cruz is the name there. California kid, come up through the age grade program. And actually a common thread here will be guys that Salty Thompson and his coaches have developed over the years. But anyway, Mika Cruz, fly half, had a great run out against the Utah Warriors in a preseason game the other night.
Cruz was a blue chip QB prospect, if memory serves correctly. Is he just slated as a fly half at number 10?
He's listed at fly half. I think he played center there, but he looks pretty handy to me wherever they put him.
Cool. And we love Pedri. He gave me this hat, his Denver Stampede hat, after his team won the only Pro Rugby USA championship in Obets versus the Ohio Aviators. But that aside, who's your number 2?
Number 2, another Glendale Raptor. This one, in my opinion, the best name in World Rugby. He's Harley Davidson. Not a product of the under-20 program. He actually came through one of our better collegiate programs, Life University in Atlanta. So Harley is a winger, outside center at a push. I coached him a little bit last year, collegiate All-American sevens. He's a great player, great kid, and he's in an environment there he really could prosper.
Harley Davidson is definitely one of the great rugby names. It's right up there with Cormac McCormack. Does Coach Davey Williams get his motor running?
I'm sure he does. Not to 60.
I have no clue what that means, but how about your number 3?
Number 3, not a lot of raw big men in American rugby, so whenever you come across one, you need to take a look at him. Another Salty Thompson project here is a guy, Justin Allen. I think he's Irish born, but has played a bit of rugby in England lately. Young players, measures in at 6'9", which is a tall piece of timber. He's down in Houston under Justin Fitzpatrick, and so that's a potential large, young, tight forward. This could be an opportunity for him.
Yeah, Houston SaberCats head coach and front row legend Justin Fitzpatrick is one of our favorite people. Just had to get that in there. But you mentioned Justin Allen maybe having an overseas accent, because your list so far has been American-speaking Americans. Is he an American-speaking American, or is he an overseas American like Lord Chris Wiles or Alexander the Great Corbacero?
It depends where you come from. I mean, he's Irish, but has sounds more like
like an Englishman.
Yeah, I would say Justin sounds English, and he's Anglo-Irish, whatever you want to call it. He's certainly a proud Irishman, but he has an English accent.
All right, take it easy. In a related question, how many hands is 6'9"?
Do I look like I grew up on a farm?
Well, coming from the perspective of my peasant farmer ancestry, yeah, you do. And basically every Scottish guy I know looks like a farmer.
Okay, not this one.
Fair enough. Okay, number 4 on the list.
Number 4 on my list. This is another product to the age grade program, actually started in Gonzaga, one of the nation's top school programs, high school programs, under Peter Bergetta. DC native. Ben Sema is his name. He's already been capped a couple of times. He's out in San Diego playing with the Legion this MLR season. And as a young fly half, inside center, fullback, he is a siege gun for a boot. And he's a terrific player. This could be a breakout competition for him.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Sema was one of the back 3 for the Eagles versus Ireland at Red Bull Arena when Keith Earls put on that clinic.
Yeah, well, Keith Earls was pretty much torching anyone that day. He was on fire. He's untouchable. So I wouldn't hold that against anyone, particularly a young player in that environment.
Agreed. Chalk went up to experience and Keith Earls' eye exercises. All right, how about number 5 on our Major League Rugby young players to watch, courtesy of AFIA Sports Training Group and Friends of the British Council?
He's not only a young player, but his player is maybe getting his second, third, or potentially final chance. His name is Alex Elkins. He's probably more familiar with Sevens fans. He was a product of Tiger Rugby. Got a couple of runs with the Falcons, had a couple of chances out at camp, and then suffered a couple of really, really bad injuries, a couple of leg breaks, and that's prevented him from getting any sort of momentum in his career. He was a standout at Oklahoma State, I believe, football standout. Absolutely phenomenal athlete. He had 1 year with the Ohio Aviators under my friend Paul Barford and Paul Holmes. And I just think he's a great athlete, and hopefully he can stay injury-free. He can get a run at it and show exactly what he's capable of.
And where is Elkins slotted on the pitch?
Wing, I would use him.
Does he have any kicking ability?
Nah, negative.
So he kicks like an American.
Yes, there you are.
Good stuff. Can't wait to see these guys in action. But before we go, I got to put you on the spot. Who is the best coach in the MLR today?
Today, that's a hard one. Best coach, what is that? Best record at the end of the season, or he, produces the best young players. He does the best job with the hand he's dealt. Very hard to say. It's preseason.
No, I'm not letting you off the hook. Who is the best major league coach right now?
Dave Williams.
Well, Dave Williams. Okay, you heard it here first, folks. He of the USA Eagles, Denver Stampede, and Glendale Raptors lore. And we're very excited to be going to see Dave Williams coach in that historic aforementioned opener.
So the big game, Austin at the Glendale Raptors at Infinity Park in Glendale, Colorado. Opening game, and we cannot wait for this thing to get going.
My prediction for that match, Glendale Raptors 35, Austin Elite 18.
Glendale 42, Austin Elite 12.
All right, so we're pretty much in step with that, but we both got to go. And before we do, while we're speaking of lists, what's your number 1 rugby pub on the planet?
Best rugby pub North America, undoubtedly, unequivocally, the Pig and Whistle on 36th Street, Midtown Manhattan.
Boom, drop the mic. Thank you, Steve, and safe travels.
Thanks, Matt. Catch you later. Cheers.
And just like that, folks, we are out of time again. So on behalf of Mr. Steve Lewis, and with special thanks to the AFIA Sports Training Group, Friends of the British Council, and the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street, I'm Matt McCarthy for Rugby Wrap-Up. We will see you in Glendale, Colorado.